Hello everyone and welcome back to So Aldo. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made this simple bridesmaid dress. So if you want to see how, then keep on watching. First thing, I'm going to cut out the bodice, so I draped the pattern pieces on my mannequin and I already posted it on my Facebook page. Be sure to check the Reels video. For this dress, I decided to be a little adventurous. I decided to do a deep V neckline and backless. But it turns out it's not my style and I'm not comfortable with it. This dress is just going to be one of those practice dress or just like so I can test out style so I can show you how to do it. Now I'm cutting the skirt. It's going to be a half circle skirt and then I extended the length so it's going to be a little longer than the pattern. Now it's time to get to sewing, which is my favorite part. First, I stitch the darts, then I'm going to knot it so it doesn't unravel. Repeated the same thing for the lining, so I'm basically sewing two bodices here, one for the lining and one for the fashion fabric. I join it at the neckline, then stitch along. If I can do this again, I am going to make the lining on the wrong side of the fabric so it's not slippery against the skin because I encountered some problems later on, which I'm going to show you. If you are wondering, I actually made this dress like 3 years ago, 2020. This is when we couldn't go anywhere, so I decided to make some pretty dresses. I graded the neckline, especially along the curve, so when I turn the fabric right side out, it's going to lay flat. And then I'm going to give it a good press and I'm going to understitch it. Understitching is you are sewing about 1/8 of an inch away from the seam and you are stitching the lining to the seam allowance. So when you're wearing the dress, the lining is going to stay inside the garment. Also pressing as I sew just to make sure that all the seams are nice and pretty. Now it's time to work on the skirt. I match the right sides of the fabrics together. There are 3 panels here and then I'm just going to stitch along the edge. Then I gave it a good press and overlocked the edges. Because I plan on wearing a petticoat underneath the skirt, I didn't have to line it. I matched the skirt to the bodice. So this is the lining, I separated it. Then I'm just going to stitch from here all the way to the other end. To add flutter sleeves. Originally I was going to do a sleeveless dress, but I thought it's going to add a little flare on the shoulder if I did some flutter sleeves because it has a lot of movements. I base stitched the armholes so it will be so much easier to set in the sleeves. Then I'm simply going to hem the sleeves. Now it's time to deal with the lining, so I pulled it out and then match it on the right side of the fabric. As you can see, I fold in the seam allowance and I'm going to stitch across. I will repeat the same steps to the other side. I forgot to mention that I added the invisible zipper as well. It's time to turn it right side out. As you can see, because I fold in the seam allowance, it's going to be so much easier to just fold it in and stitch across the waistline. Now you can stitch it by hand or use your sewing machine. I don't remember what I did, but whatever works for you, go ahead and do that. And this is the reason why I said earlier that I wish I used the wrong side of the fabric for the lining, because it was so slippery. As you can see, the dress was falling off my shoulder. To fix that, I simply created a strap that will hold the shoulders together. So I'm just going to stitch it right here. As you can see, the back is massive. I'm actually not comfortable with that. But this is just for twirling around the house anyways, so it's okay. So if you have a blouse or a dress that was doing the same thing, you can easily fix it by doing what I'm doing here. You can even use a decorative chain like a necklace at the back. I think it will look really cute. Pearls will also look nice. The top edge of the zipper here is looking rough, but I didn't feel like redoing it seriously because the fabric is so hard to work with. It was very slippery. I let it drape overnight and then I double rolled hem it, but it turns out to be a mistake because it was wonky, so I ended up trimming it off and now the dress is a little shorter than I would like it to be. I also made a matching hair bow, but I misplaced it already. And this is the final dress. I haven't hemmed it yet, but anyway, it still look cute, and I'm also wearing a petticoat underneath the skirt. I hope you like this video, and if it's helpful, don't forget to follow, likes, and share. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!